It's time, fight fans and degenerate gamblers. Welcome to the Thick Boys Fight Club, where there are only two rules. Rule number one, always talk about Thick Boys Fight Club. Rule number two, talk about Thick Boys Fight Club even if no one wants to talk about Thick Boys Fight Club.
All right, we are back again for another exciting episode. I'm Nick Westerveld.
And I'm Ty Stewart.
And right on, guys. We're going to be breaking down today for you guys Blaydes. Sorry, what was this fight card called one more time? We are Blaydes versus Volkov, coming to you guys live from Apex on Saturday night. We're going to be breaking down the fight card, giving you our picks, all that kind of good stuff, our opinion, if you care, if you don't.
Well, if you're listening, I hope you fucking care. This is actually surprisingly a very good fight card. I'm actually really looking forward to watching this on Saturday night, man.
For sure. Well, let's break that down here in a little bit. First, let's jump on the news a little bit, guys, for you. Got us some good nice little updates for us. This one,
I'm looking forward to it.
This one I know my boy's going to love. Henry Cejudo, baby. Back in the news.
Ooh, I did hear about this. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Willing to bet his championship gold and first girlfriend that he can finish Alex Volkanovski in 2 rounds.
Okay, I did not hear that, but that is a brave fucking man.
My God. I mean, you're crazy, dude. I mean.
Bro, make it happen. Make it happen. It's just UFC. Take my money. Take all my money and fucking make this fight happen.
Bro. Triple C, I'm sorry. I think he'll get his ass kicked personally. That guy's just too big.
The size advantage would be something to overcome.
The size is going to be way too much to overcome.
Right, but let's just real quick, I do want to say this. If anyone can do it, it's going to be Henry Cejudo that can overcome their size. His wrestling is just going to be is going to give him such an advantage over so many fighters that it'll help even out the playing field for him.
Yeah, I can see that. See that. All right, next up, I don't know if you've heard this. Joe Silva, who is a former UFC matchmaker, has been getting a lot of heat this week. Have you seen any of this?
Wait, is he former? Or he doesn't work for the UFC anymore?
Former, doesn't work for the UFC anymore.
Okay.
Basically, right now, all these fighters are coming out saying, like, this guy was just ruthless. And a lot of guys have just terrible things to say about the poor man, saying that, he sent them in there, saying to break people's arms, end people's careers, and so forth when they enter their octagon. That's some crazy shit. Good news for him right now. The latest member to come at least defend him was Sonnen. Chael Sonnen came out and said that he thought he was a great dude and never heard anything like that. I don't know.
Chael, always a company man. I like that dude.
Yeah.
Just to defend Joe Silva, obviously I wasn't there. I don't know how he phrased it exactly, but just hearing what you said, it just sounds like maybe he was just, trying to motivate him, like, look, you're about to get into a cage fight, man. That kind of should be your mentality is, I'm going to fuck this dude up.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat the shit out of him so bad he never wants to do this again.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
All right. RDA back in the news as well, too, was the whole Conor rematch bullshit. He's trying to really go for it and say that the timing is great. When is the timing not great to fight Conor McGregor? I'm sorry. I just
yeah. Timing's always great, man.
Let's give us let's come on now, man. You need some money. You want to get paid. The timing's great for you, yes, because you're, on the down.
He's on the back end of his career.
He's on the back end of his career. So, for that reason, come on now. But yeah, once again, Conor McGregor making headlines.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't mind that fight. I think that'd actually probably be a good one to, because then Conor is still fighting someone in the top 10 of the division, and I'm just gonna say it's a softer matchup for Conor.
For sure,
gives him a more likelihood of winning.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking the same. Like, yeah, you're right. It is a good timing for Conor because Conor needs someone that he can beat the shit out of real quick and look impressive again. So could be. All right. Next up, I got here. I'm liking this because this pertains to next week's card. Darren Till has been just completely trolling Mike Perry. I mean,
and how's he doing that?
He made a website dedicated to him, talking about Raw Dog and his girlfriend. I mean, it's getting deep. Yes, it's getting dark.
Okay,
It's getting dark.
It's getting a little serious.
You know, Mickey Gall then went on today. Basically, was like they asked in an interview, they asked him what he thought of Mike Perry having his girlfriend in his corner for the fight. His response was, "I don't think Mike's the brightest guy." I mean, so Mike Perry's not making the best of friends lately. I kind of agree with it. I mean, it was kind of an odd thing with your wife 1 week on Instagram, with your girlfriend the next week on Instagram. That's kind of a strange little coincidence to me. Yeah.
Wait. I'm confused. I don't know much about his personal life. He has a girlfriend and a wife?
No, so he had this wife that was basically called herself Platinum Princess forever. Okay. And literally it was like things were good. And then boom, unfriends her, takes the pictures off of her. And then about a few days later, pops in this new little girlfriend that he's got, he's been posting nonstop about on his Instagram.
Okay, so the new girlfriend he has isn't the one that's been in his corner the whole time.
No, this is a new one. That's what I'm saying too. She was out with him the last fight, all that kind of stuff.
Well, depending on how this, I haven't seen too much about this new girlfriend. If she does not become this huge thing of his life, I think this is really good for Platinum Perry because she was in charge of his corner. She was in charge of his training camps and stuff. And to me, that's ridiculous. It's like, bro, you're a professional fighter. You need to hire a real fight team and a real manager. Like, she should not.
So have you understood what I just told you? What's happening? Mike Perry has fired everyone in his fight team. He doesn't train for anyone anymore. And his new girlfriend, who knows nothing about the UFC or MMA, is training him and is going to be his corner person in the next upcoming fight.
See, yes. I heard that, but I thought that was his other girlfriend he did that for.
No.
Okay, no. Then this is probably the single worst thing to happen to Mike Perry.
Exactly.
Maybe,
as I'm saying.
We might be seeing the end of his career soon, it sounds like.
I think so as well. Not only that, I mean, I need to go show you this. I'll show you this tomorrow or something. I mean, people are online teasing this poor girl. She looks like she just got out of high school, for Christ's sake. And he talks about picking her up from school. I'm hoping he's retaining this picking her up from college. I can only hope. But my God, if he is picking her up from high school and she's just some 18-year-old teeny popper.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fingers crossed, 18 years old.
Oh, man.
Hey, man. I hope this works out for you, Mike, but it's not sounding very good for you.
All right, guys. What was great, I like, too, we finally got some new fights announced the last couple of days. They've announced a couple of fights. Great fights that are going to be coming up. We're going to have Uriah Hall versus Yo Romero coming up in August. Middleweight matchup. Can't wait for that one. Oh, you don't like that one, huh? What, terrible. For Yoel or for Uriah?
Well, the only reason I kind of don't like it is
old
we saw what – yeah, they're both on the older side, right? But we saw Yoel versus a counter-striker, and that's exactly what Uriah Hall is. I think we're going to have another repeat of last time. This is not going to be a very entertaining fight.
Where Yoel just walks around?
Yeah, he's just going to stay there, and I don't know. That's what I just perceive. I could totally be wrong.
All right, and then also they announced Derek Lewis will be returning to the ring again as well in August, fighting Olenek. So that's going to headline on August 8th, the deal.
That'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. Also, you were the one that broke this news to me, but I'll go ahead and break it to everyone else if you haven't heard this. Amanda Nunes is legitimately considering retiring.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I can't believe it. It makes sense, though. It does. I just don't believe it. But, you know.
And what's crazy is we talked about this in the last episode, how we thought this would actually be good for the divisions, good for her financially as well, because, you know, gives her the time to build up some contenders for her where she can maybe pop back out of retirement after a year or so.
For sure. Her little problem is going to be Dana White has one on record and said, I will kill her if she retires.
Yeah, he did. He said that, and he followed that up with saying, you know, if he's all about fighters retiring if they think they should, except for when they're in her position. And again, it's just like what we talked about. She's at the peak in her career, just like Anderson Silva was, making divisions look thin. But I like Dana, I get it. You want her to keep fighting to make her legacy, but at this point, no. I guess for her legacy, it's going to be great, but financially, I can't see it being that good for her.
Yeah. Fights. No, it's definitely just crazy that you and I got into this the other day. You know, it is true though. I do agree with you as well. It could honestly be the best thing to happen for the whole women's division. Now, the article I just read, though, stating all the facts about this, said, though, that Dana White was literally yelling at the matchmakers and his people to go find some women to make this division great for Amanda Nunes. So, there's something there, too. Maybe they were going to bring in some new talent, we can only hope, but we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah,
That's
but
kind of
see,
her current deal.
it's hard, right? Because I've got to pay more attention to the Invicta Fighting Championships because that's really where they pull all their talent from.
Yeah,
hopefully they have some young up-and-comers there that they can just snag and bring up through the ranks quickly for her.
Yeah. And then last not least for you guys, what I liked here, I read this article this morning, made me happy because I did kind of panic for a second. So, as we all know, UFC 251 is going to be on Yas Island off of Abu Dhabi. Now, I was thinking, it made me think of something this morning. Wait, that means that the fight card is going to be completely off, and the timing of when it starts is not going to be early afternoon for us here in Hawaii, late at night for you, usually nighttime-ish for you folks in the mainland. It could possibly be early in the morning for us, early in the afternoon for you guys. Now, luckily, because the fact that there's going to be no fans, they're actually going to tailor the time of this pay-per-view for us as the Americans as our normal start times. So, but what that means, though, we have to pay close attention to this. This is going to be a rough thing for the fighters. They're saying that the first
100%.
Yes, the first prelims are going to be starting at about 2 a.m. is when the first fighters are going to be coming out at their time. The main card, the first main events that are going to be popping up is going to start at 6 a.m. their time. So that means really when these three title matches start, it's probably legitimately going to be 8 or 9 in the morning there at Fight Island, which is going to be a completely different time than these fighters are used to fighting, obviously.
Well, it'll be used to the time. The whole thing is
Training.
Now they're just going to have to be because obviously they're going to fly. The top guys are going to fly in a week or two or more in advance, to recover from their long flights, and then also to adjust themselves to the climate, the time. But now that's the thing is how are they going to really get their biological clock? Because if they have to literally adjust themselves, that time in the morning is going to be midday for them.
Yep.
Right. So it's going to be tricky for those fighters.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I hate to be an early prelim at 2 a.m. I mean, at least the main guys will kind of get a night's sleep. They'll probably have to wake up, I'm sure, around 5 or so, to get ready to go. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But it is good news for us because I was honestly our little parties that we like to have. I was like, oh man, it's going to be early morning. That's going to be kind of a bummer. But it's not, so we're good.
Yeah. Well, then now this just brings up what you said on that one fight card on a Wednesday is. Man, expect a lot of things you're going to see some things, some people win that you wouldn't have thought would win for sure.
Yep. We'll have to break that down when we get there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I got for news, guys. We can, let's jump into the fight card now.
All right. We'll get right to it then. We have Jim Miller, 31-14 with 1 no contest. They're going to be fighting at a catch weight. I'm not exactly sure what the weight is going to be for this one versus Roosevelt Roberts, 10-1 coming off of a 20-day layoff, so he's just a quick turnaround fight for him. Roosevelt Roberts is 26 years old. Jim Miller coming at 36. Nick had some things he talked to me early when he first started watching and breaking down these fights, so I'm going to let him start off.
Well, first I'll start out with this little fun fact for you kiddos. This fight with Jim Miller will have him tying the record with Donald Cerrone for all-time most UFC fights. Believe that or not. I know that's kind of crazy.
In the shortest period of time or something?
Just in general for the amount of
fights. Jim Miller. Jim Miller. Sorry, pardon.
Yeah, Jim Miller, not Roberts. So, yeah, that's kind of a crazy one. Yeah, I mean, as we just talked about, when you look at stats, the problem I have here is fighters on a quick turnaround usually don't do as well as we hope they would for whatever reason. I don't know if it's maybe cutting weight 2 times in a row. Now I don't. Yeah, like you said, it's this catch weight fight, so I'm not really sure where we're going to be at. But, there's still going to be some weight cutting issues. I have to believe that. I mean, staying in shape for that long, it does something to your body. It has to. I'm going to go with Jim Miller here because of that. Usually I like the younger guy in the fight, as we all do. But, Jim Miller is he's no little old man for sure. I mean, he's put on a show still for us for many years. And to be honest with you, I'm not that impressed with Roberts. He beat Broke Weaver. Not that that's anyone to really talk that much shit about. But, that's where I'm at on it. Plus, I like it. Jim Miller's an underdog in this fight. I'm liking that a lot.
Yeah, right now, let me just look up the odds for you really quickly. I have it right here. Yeah, it's going to be plus 180 for Jim Miller.
So there you go.
Underdog. Yeah. Well, how I feel about the fight, Nick made some great points. It is a really quick turnaround, and I have to agree with Nick. When we were just looking really quickly at fighters who had recently turned around and had short fights, very few of them are coming out on top. It does make me really hesitant. This made this pick for me so much harder. Just to go into Jim Miller a little bit, man, I've been watching that guy forever. He is just a beast. He's been one of the premier gatekeepers of that division. Interesting fact, I didn't know this. I guess a few years back he found out he had Lyme's disease. It's something you live with for your whole life. But he has been taking the proper medication. He knows what supplements and everything he needs to take to be at his best. But I have to say something I've noticed with Jim is he's really the first round fighter now. He's going for it for the first round. He's trying to finish you in that first round. And another thing is, man, in his last 10 fights, he's only won one decision. And so 5 of them have gone to decision. He's only won one of them. And it was literally the last one. It's just crazy that something like that is just so consistent. And you have a guy like Roosevelt Roberts, so young, 10-1, and then he's won 3 of his last 5 decision fights. This guy usually does go the distance, and he's great at staying on the outside, picking you apart, and that's why I'm going to pick him to win this fight. I am a little hesitant, but I feel relatively confident. But if you want to make a safe wager, which I was telling Nick, is pick the under and then parlay Roosevelt Roberts and the over, or Roosevelt Roberts by decision. You'll win money either way.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, next up we have Bilal Muhammad, 16-3, versus Lyman Good, 21-5, with 1 no contest. They're fighting at the welterweight division. Bilal is 31 years old. Lyman Good is going to be 35. I'll just start this one off. I like Bilal Muhammad in this fight. Lyman Good, he's a good fighter. He's mostly just a knockout artist. Solid boxing, does use kicks here and there, but he's just looking for that one-punch knockout. He's not trying to point fight you or anything like that. Whereas Bilal Muhammad, he's like a really pressure fighter. He likes to get right in your face. He's constantly trying to take you down. The guy has heart, man. It is just ridiculous. You see him get dropped, and he doesn't care. He gets back up. He just keeps going for the takedown. You stuff him. You punch him in the face. He's bleeding from his face. He doesn't care. He's just going for it nonstop. And honestly, the longer the fight goes, the better he gets. And that's why I'm picking Bilal Muhammad.
Excellent. Well, I'm going with Good. This is a pick'em fight, guys, but I'll tell you my reasonings. And this is something you probably aren't aware of, Ty. Good went on today. His father recently died. Put on today. He's going to fighting out there for his father. That's better reason than any. I also looked at his stats, watched some of his fights. That guy's got the best takedown defense around, man. I don't think Muhammad's going to be able to take him down. I think that's going to be a problem. That's where I got, man. That's what I got.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This isn't – out of all the fights, this is probably my least favorite one to pick. Like Nick said, this is a pick 'em. I'm personally not going to be betting on this fight. Because one thing about Bilal Muhammad that I did notice is that he does tend to get rocked more often than I would like. And you're talking about a power striker. So don't get me wrong. Good could win. But if he doesn't win in the first round, he's probably not going to win this fight. Because he is one of those guys, he starts real strong in the beginning, but you just see he slowly tapers down and he gets worse as the fight goes longer. Whereas Bilal, like I said, he starts to gain momentum the longer the fight goes.
What are the odds on that fight?
Bilal Muhammad is a slight favorite. I believe it's minus 140. Where is that? Right there. Yeah, minus 130, and Lyman Good is even money.
Yeah.
So slight favorite.
So basically it's a pick 'em is what we're telling them. Okay.
Yeah. And then my least favorite fight of the night, and it's not because it's a woman's fight, it's just watching the tape on these two. But it's Raquel Pennington, 10-8, versus Marion Renault, 9-5-1. She's going to be Here's a fun fact. She's going to be 43 on the day of the fight. It's her fucking birthday.
Yeah.
And Raquel Pennington's going to be 31. Nick,
Well,
why don't you take it?
She's going to get her ass kicked on her birthday. I think they're feeding Pennington here a quick little match, personally. I mean, she has the age advantage alone. She's 31 years old. Renau has lost her last 2 fights. One of those was a loss to Zingano, who, let's be honest, is also at the end of her rope going to Bellator. I didn't see much there, man, to make me want to think that she could pull this off, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Watching the two of them, the thing about Raquel Pennington is she has fought the best women's fighters.
Correct.
You know, she's fought Holly Holm, Dream Durandamy, Jessica Andrade. You know, the list goes on. And she's very well rounded. She's good at everything, but she's great at nothing. I hate to put it like that. She's solid everywhere, but there's no spot where you're like, oh my God, she's so deadly with, you know, in a particular aspect of the game. Where Renau, at least she's a legitimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. She's decent off of her back. She's not great. She does have a solid triangle choke, but you know, I think people are wise to it and they know to avoid it and they train to defend it. And so she doesn't catch it as much as she likes. She is trained under Rafael Cordero, great Muay Thai specialist. So her striking is very good. I would give Moran the speed advantage, but the power advantage to Raquel Pennington. But it's the same thing as like I was talking about with Good. Renau definitely fades in the later rounds, where Pennington, she does start to get more momentum the longer the fight goes and the more comfortable she is in the cage. I'm picking Pennington also to win this fight.
All right, we finally got an agreement tonight. There we go.
All
right.
And then in the featherweights, we've got
me.
Josh Emmett, 15-2 versus Shane Burgos, 13-1. This is my pick for possible fight of the night again, right here. I'm going to just go right into this. You got Josh Emmett fighting out from Team Alpha Male. Uriah Faber has been talking this guy up forever. They think very highly of him. He is just an explosive knockout artist who just wants to fuck people up, and he has serious speed, man. But the thing is, you see he's throwing everything into every shot. Whereas this Shane Burgos kid, he's much more technical. He's got good head movement in the pocket. He's 5'11", where Josh Emmett is 5'6". He's good at using his range. But sometimes, man, when he's fighting up close, he's got no problem, man. He's throwing those hooks. He looks sharp, likes to throw those 3-4 punch combos. But the one thing I do have an issue with him is his chin. I've seen him get dropped from guys with less power. And with Emmett, he can knock you out in the first round, or he could knock you out in the third round. His pace does not change. And I think that's just ultimately going to be the factor here is the power of Josh Emmett. He's going to rock him. He might not knock him out, but he's going to rock him at least 2-3 times in this fight and win by decision. Worst case scenario.
Okay, well, we'll see. I'm going with Burgos on this one. You know, I like him. He's on a 2-fight win streak. One of those being he just beat Cub Swanson. Got to give that guy, you know, that dude's a tough mofo. I know he's not the same Cub Swanson as we talked about with Duho Choi. I believe that we were talking about one of those, so it haven't been the same. But, I mean, there's something there. Can't really go against that. As well as the fact I saw I know what you were seeing, but Burgos just has a bigger reach. I think he might be able to keep him at bay. And the other thing that you said you liked, which I kind of actually backpedal a little bit, was the fact that he does change with Uriah. I don't know if I am a firm believer in that camp, to be honest with you. You know, Cub Swanson comes out of there, but I mean, let's be real. We're talking about Cub having to make a comeback after going on a bad losing streak. So I just don't know if I feel that confident in that fight camp. I know you guys talk all the shit you want. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. I just go with the facts and what I see. For that reason, you know, Shane Burgos.
Hey, look, he's not a bad kid to pick in this fight. Honestly, the kid is talented. He has a very bright future ahead of him either way. But like I said, dude, those knockouts of Michael Johnson, Ricardo Lamas, they went stiff. They don't It's not like he has a follow-up shot he needs. They go to sleep, and they're just a straight brick. And then he drops Mersad with just a straight jab. That's the kind of power this guy has in his hands. He doesn't have to wing punches. He just has that natural gift of, I have cement blocks in my hands, and I can put any person to sleep.
No, you definitely got the power. I saw that too. What are the odds on this fight?
Emmett is a plus 130, I believe it is.
Okay, so Vegas
or
is
plus
the way
110.
I see it.
Plus 110, Shane Burgos minus 140.
Okay.
But the other thing I want to say, I almost forgot to say, is Josh Emmett does have a wrestling background. So that gives him an advantage in the sense of if Shane does start to pick him apart on the outside, he has more tools to take him out of his element. Shoot for a takedown, score some points.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what happens there too then. Yeah. Last but not least.
Yeah, the main event, Curtis Blaydes, 13-2 with 1 no contest. Heavyweight division versus Alexander Volkov, 31-7. Blaydes is going to be 29 years old. Volkov, 31. Nick, how you feel about this?
I'm going with Blaydes for this reason. I am never, ever going to forgive this motherfucking Volkov. How dare you get knocked out with 10 seconds left against Derek Lewis when you had that fight in the bag? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I lost big money that night. I love Derek Lewis. Sorry, Lewis. I had to bet against you that night because I saw that this kid had it. But my God, when you did that, I could not believe it. Talk about the beginning of being upset that night, of course, right before the Conor McGregor fight. But Jesus, for that reason, I'm letting the emotions get the best of me. I can't go with Volkov. Guys, I hate picking heavyweight fights, but I am all in on a Blaydes train.
Very nice, very nice. I'm going with Nick on this one. I'm picking Curtis Blaydes. There's some very specific reasons why. Watching Alexander Volkov versus Fabricio Verdum and how easily he was taken down. If you're going to and let me tell you, this is not a prime Fabricio Verdum. He did not look like he was in the best shape of his life by any stretch of the imagination. And he took you down at will. And he just did that. Yes, he's a very good technical striker. I'm going to tell you all the good things about Volkov. He stays on the outside. He picks you apart. He's an intelligent fighter. He's very good at minimizing the risks he takes, minus the Derek Lewis fight. But the good thing about that was, in his turnaround fight, he did a great job of staying on the outside, picking Greg Hardy apart, and not putting himself in any dangerous positions to lose that fight. Just scored the points he needed, won, and that's what you want to see after coming off a knockout loss with such a big mistake that Nick's talking about. But then you talk about Curtis Blaydes, man. This guy is a wrestling machine.
And
he's an absolute savage. He's going to put a clinic on. The only guy he's ever lost to is Francis Ngannou twice. But Jesus Christ, almost anybody's going to lose to that guy. So I'm not really depressed about it. And on top of that, Curtis Blaydes held his own against Junior Dos Santos on the feet and knocked him out. That's got to say something. So I just see that Curtis Blaydes is evolving more, developing more as a fighter, and he's going to bring more tools and weapons to this fight. And it should be an easy night of work for Curtis Blaydes. And lock of the week right there. I know he's a heavy favorite, but I'm sorry, but that's an easy pick.
I'm going with that as well. All right. So, guys, we'll see what happens here Saturday night. We'll be back with you guys, hopefully probably on Saturday night, I would think, possibly, right? If not Saturday night, we'll get a little recap show for you guys done on Sunday, go over the picks and whatnot. But I can tell you this, guys, once we get over this little hump, not that this is a bad card or anything, boy, oh boy, I cannot wait for the next 2 fight cards. We're going to get a little sweet treat, I believe is what I'll call it, a couple weekends before the real deal. But next week, we got Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Oh baby!
Oh, man. Let's watch these boys dance.
We got that Mike Perry fight versus Gall. That's going to be an excellent fight as well. So, yeah, some good, exciting things to come. And then after that, we got UFC 251, of course, which will be the highlight of everyone's month, hopefully. Give us something to get away from reality with for a second. So, anyways, Hey, guys, thank you so much for listening once again. Hopefully, we win you guys some money. We'll see who does well.
And please remember, just hit the like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram, And remember, always talk about Thick Boys Fight Club.
Yep.
That's the #1 rule.
Let us know what you guys think of the new intro too in the comments. I'm sure you guys are gonna love the shit out of that. 'Cause I do.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Good night. Peace out. We'll see you guys back in a couple days.
Yeah. Till next time. Shoots.